My name is David Kenney, and my rank is commander. When I left San Diego, and again, that was the first time I had flown across country, and it was an experience for me. And ironically, when I was actually going to San Diego the first time, because of fog, when we had left Logan Airport that day, we didn't make it in time to make our connection flight into Colorado. And so at the time, the airlines were not regulated. This is before Reagan deregulated the airlines, and so getting a transfer ticket to another airline was easy. You just went to the other airline and said, hey, I didn't make my connection flight. Oh yeah, sure, no problem. They write a ticket, and away you went. And it was great, but when we landed, we missed our connection flight, and so basically the airline just said, okay, no problem, we'll put you up at a hotel. They took us to one of the best hotels in the area. They put us up there overnight, and they said, we'll pick you up in the morning with a shuttle. It included breakfast and everything else, and it was perfect. So I'm sitting there going, boy, I hope this is the way airline travel always is, because this is terrific. So I got to San Diego the following day, and was able to get there in plenty of time, even though we had that delay. And flying out, because I had such a large transit time to get to the America, they gave me enough days, so I was able to go home. So I flew from San Diego back to Boston. I spent a few days there with the family before I flew out. From there, we had to take a military airlift flight out of Philadelphia. So I had to get from Boston to Philadelphia. And from that point, a lot of us that were actually going to the America were on that flight. So myself and a bunch of guys all got on MAC flight out of Philly. And we flew over to Rota, Spain. It was probably about a 7.5 hour flight from there. By the time we got into Rota, it was late. I would say probably about 10, 11 o'clock at night. And because it was late, there was nothing really open, so we had to pick up another flight going into Sigonella, Sicily the following day. So they put us up that night in transient barracks and let us sleep for a while. But the following morning, about 9 o'clock, we had to be back in the terminal to pick up flights to our ship. And from that point, the ones that were assigned to America were all going in one cod, and then they had other guys that were going to smaller ships that were departing to other locations around the Med. So there was probably, I want to say about 15 of us at that day that were going to the Americas. So we all had our sea bags in hand, and they walked us out into the tarmac, out into this cod. And I didn't realize it at the time, getting on board. We had walked in the tail ramp, and when we got on board, all the seats were facing backwards. And, stupid me, I'm looking around going, okay, why are the seats backwards? And they said, well, because you're going to be landing on the ship. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? They said, yeah, the ship is still out to sea in the Med, so we're going to be trapping on the American. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be interesting. So I was sitting in a seat, and when you're inside the aircraft, in this particular aircraft, there was only one tiny porthole window on one side of the plane. We had one guy that was sitting in the seat next to it. And so they told us about how long a flight it was going to be to go from there to the ship. And I think it was probably about an hour and a half, roughly. We were in the air. And so we were telling them, I said, look, when you see the ship, let us know so we know when we're close. And he said, okay. So about 5 or 10 minutes before we were landing, we were making our approach. And of course, he's seeing the ship out the window. He goes, oh, there it is, there it is. And he said, oh, it's really cool. And okay, so we're waiting and we're waiting, we're waiting. And I said, let us know when the ship is close. Because we're all figuring, okay, it's going to feel a little strange to get trapped. And the aircrew guy told us a little bit about what we should expect. So we all had to strap in tight, we're waiting. And I said, when you see the ship in the window, let us know so we'll know to be prepared for it. And I said, yeah, okay, okay. So we're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. He's not saying anything, we hear nothing. It's all right, fine. So it's taken a while. Now it's 5 minutes, now it's 6 minutes, 7 minutes. When are we ever going to hit the ship? And all of a sudden we hear him go, there it is, boom. And as soon as he said, there it is, we hit the wire and everybody just went backwards, and you could feel your eyeballs going in the back of your sockets, like, holy mackerel. And it only lasted about a split second, but all of us were all sitting there, wow, that was a rush. And no sooner had we hit the wire, I think it was probably maybe 10 seconds after that, when you could feel the pressure release, and then they dropped the ramp door, and all we saw was a couple of guys with clamshell helmets. I heard you guys get out, get out, get out, get on the deck. And they rushed us off the plane, and that was the first time I had set foot on America. And we walked in through the hatchway on the island and got our assignments through personnel. And I was sent down to, as most of us knew on the ship, we were all sent down to do mess cooking first. So that was the break-in period. Everybody had to go to do mess cooking, and basically you were assigned, I think, randomly. So some of them went to the scullery. If you had any kind of culinary expertise, you were sent to help the cooks. You know, I was, as I said earlier, I was fortunate enough, and I don't know why to this day, but they picked me to go down to the chief's mess. And I wasn't sure if that was a good assignment or a bad assignment. But I soon learned after that that was probably one of the best assignments I could have gotten, because they really ate well down there. So that was my induction into America. It was really, again, it was exhilarating to step on a deck for the first time. I was 20 years old. This was a brand new experience for me. And it was just, I was very wide-eyed about the whole thing. And the day that we landed and we got on board the ship, as soon as they dropped that ramp and you feel the hot air, you feel the jet blast, you walk out on the deck and you see all the activity going on, all the different color shirts walking back and forth and planes moving, and you realize quickly that this is really a floating city, and that the description that they have of a carrier is not beyond reason. I mean, it really is what they said it was. And so I'll be honest, I was like a kid. As soon as I started walking to and I'm looking around everywhere, I'm just looking at everything, trying to take it all in. And you know, they kept trying to rush us off the flight deck for obvious reasons. They didn't want us out there, but I couldn't wait to get back up there. I wanted to see what was going on up there as soon as possible. So my first thing in my head was, as soon as I got assigned and I got to my rack and got unpacked and everything else, I was going to find some way to get back up on the flight deck to see what was going on up there. Because that's where all the action was, and that's where I wanted to be. Even though I wasn't assigned to a job up there, I wanted to see what they did up on the flight deck. Because that was the purpose of a carrier, was to launch and retrieve planes. And so I wanted to see what the lifeblood was of America at that time. So that was my objective. That was my goal.